Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic we are going to cover is more on if statement. So we will take some more examples and we are going to understand how nested if statement works. So let's get started. So we will take an example for the if statement. We'll take a program to understand the working of if statement in a much better way. So let us take a program by which we will accept a number from the user between 1 to 9, and then we will print the that particular number in words. So we will accept a number that is between 1 to 9 and we will print that number. Suppose it's number 5, so we will print that number 5 in words. So let's get started. So let us accept a number, an integer number, give a message, enter a number, and you can also tell the user that you're supposed to enter between 1 to 9, so that is more specific. And here it goes. Now after this we are accepted the number n. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a if statement. So if I say if n is equal to 1, if it is 1, so straight away I will print, that is, I'll keep it in capital 1, and so on. I'll just copy this print statement and I will paste it. This is 2, 3, this is for 4, 5, this is for 6, 7, 8 and 9. So I'll just change the message, that is, this is 1, so I'll make this as 2, and over here it will be 2, and this I'll make it as 3. If n is 3, then I'll print as 3. This I'll make it as 4. If n is 4, this as 5, and so on. So what we are doing over here is we are checking the number. We are checking the number if it falls to one of the condition, if it is true for either of the condition, one of the condition, so it will print that particular message. So this I'll make it as 7 and I'll print it as 7, this as 8 and so on, and last is 9. So here it is. So let us run this program and see the output. Just I'll name it as test and I will run the program. So if I enter something like 5, so here it is, I got the output as 5, right? So if I enter any number that is between 1 to 9, I'll get the output. Suppose it is 8, so it will display the number 8 in words. And if I give some wrong input, for example, I give something like this, so I will not have any output for this. Now, yes, this program is working, but there is a problem. And the problem is what Python is doing over here, or maybe we can say that this particular program doesn't have the best of the logic. I'm saying this because what happens is the interpreter will check for this condition, that if n is equal to 1. If it is not, for example, if n is 4, I have given the input as 4, this condition goes false, then it will check for n is equal to 2, then it will check for n is equal to 3. So there is a lot of checking going on, and then if n is 4, this condition will get satisfied and then it will print 4. But it even doesn't stop here. What it will do, again it will check for 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, which is not required. So we need to come up with something really better logic. Now what is the better logic? That is using elif. Now I'll simply make this, all I have to do is make this as elif. So I'll just add el, that's it. So I'll just copy this, and we will see what difference does it make. I'll paste it everywhere. Now here it is. Now this is a much better logic. For example, if if this value n is 4, so this condition goes false, then it will go for the else if part. It will go for this condition, and ultimately this condition gets satisfied and will print 4. But once this condition gets satisfied, it is not going to check all these conditions. So we are actually saving a lot of execution time. We don't need to check the rest of the conditions. So if this condition gets satisfied, for example, n is 5, so it will check for this, n is 1, 2, 3, 4, and ultimately it gets satisfied over here. It will print it, and that's it. It will the program will terminate. So this is a much better logic. Also, what we can do is, if the user gives some other input which we are not expecting, so we can simply give the message by simply giving an else part to the entire if statement. This is the last else part, and I can simply say wrong input. Now that makes a lot of sense. So now if I run this program, and you can see the output. For example, if I give 6, I will have 6. Now if I give something like any wrong input, you can see it has given me the output that is wrong input. So you can see this program, how to use if and elif, how effectively we can use it. So that is all about the if statement. We have taken one more example. So hope you have understood this. Now let's move on to nested if. Now what is nested if? Now nested if means we have a if statement under some other if statement. Now let's take an example. So let us accept two numbers. This is A. I'll remove this thing, and I will print the message as enter first number, right? And I will take one more number, accept it. I will accept that number in variable B, and I will say this as second number. So over here I have accepted two numbers, that is variable A and variable B. Now what we will do is, we will see which is the bigger number, first condition, that is to check the bigger number, and we will always divide the bigger number with the smaller number. Okay, so let us do this. For example, I'll go with the coding, and simply I've used A greater than B condition, A greater than B. If A is greater than B, what I will do is, I will divide A divided by B. But before I divide A divided by B, I need to check whether B is greater than 0, because we cannot divide any number by 0. So that is one more condition that I need to check. So I will check a condition. If A is greater than B, that's alright, but then I need to check whether B is greater than 0. Now this is very important, right? If it is greater than 0, now you can see this if statement is under this outermost if statement. If this condition gets satisfied, only then we will check this condition. So if B is greater than 0, so in that case I will simply print A divided by B. We will divide it, right? But what if this condition goes false? If B is not greater than 0, or if it is equal to 0, we'll simply check this. I'll make it this way. Okay, greater than 0. Okay, or you can also say not equal to 0. So this makes more sense. So I can give any number that is not equal to 0. Okay, so what I will do is, I will divide A by B, right? And if it is, if this, okay, I will just make this as greater than 0. Okay, if it is greater than 0, I will divide it, and I will give a else part to this. I'll give a else part to this. Else, I will say, I will simply print that number should be greater than 0. So I'm expecting the user to give a number that is greater than 0. So if I say b greater than 0, I will divide it, a divided by b, else I'll print the message number should be greater than 0. Okay, now you can understand that this else part, you can see it belongs to this if, because they are in the same, they are aligned equally, you can see over here. Okay, this else, if and else. So do not get confused, this else part belongs to this if statement. Now what if this condition goes false, the outermost, a is not greater than b? In that case, I will give a else part to this if statement, and in this else part I can check a condition if this is a else part, which means that b is probably greater than a, or I can also do it this way, L if b greater than a, right? B greater than a. So what I will do, I will do the same operation, I will perform the same operation. I will give a enter over here and I will paste it, and I will simply use this as a greater than 0. So in that case, what I will do is I will divide b divided by a, right? So we are always dividing the bigger number with the smaller number, and else number should be greater than 0. So let us see how this works like. Okay, so I'll run this program, and then again we will take a summary of this. So enter the first number 34 and enter the second number 0. So here it is, it has given the output number should be greater than 0. Okay, so it is not accepting 0 basically, or even it is not accepting anything that is into minus. So this is a program where we are expecting the user to give a two numbers that is greater than 0. So we are checking the condition for that. So let us have one more number, that is 7, and over here we will have 8. So you can see it is divided 8 by 7, and here is the output, isn't it? So this is how the program works. Now let us understand the working of this program. We have this if statement, if a is greater than b, if this condition goes true, then this if else part will get executed. Now this entire is the block code for this if statement. Then again I am giving elif, and this is the block code for this particular elif part. Now what we can do, again we can give if a is greater than b, so I will perform this operation, and if b is greater than a, I will perform this operation. And if I come up with the else part, else, which means that a is actually equal to b, isn't it? So in that case I will simply print the answer as 1, because we are dividing the same number, or I can do it this way, it doesn't make any difference, right? Now let us run this output. Let us run this output. So first number is 23, second number is 2, that's perfect. Now again I will run it for number is 34 and 34, and here it is 1.0, right? So we are getting this output, and anything that is 0, it will throw an error, not an error, a message to the user, that is the number should be greater than 0. Now I hope you have understood this. So I'll just take just rewind it. For example, this is the first if statement, a greater than b, followed by, it has the else if part, it has the else if part, that is b greater than a, and if even this condition goes false, which means A and B are equal. In that case, we are simply printing A by B. Doesn't make any difference. And these two are the code block for under this. This is the code block for this particular elif, and this is the else part of this main if. So this is a perfect example of having nested if statement. Might be a bit confusing for the beginners, but you need to practice a lot, because this is a subject which is asking a lot of practice. So you need to take a lot of examples and practice a lot, and you will find it's very easy actually. So initially anything that you take up, it's very difficult, but when you practice it, it becomes easy. So hope that you have understood the entire tutorial. So that's it for now, and let us wait for the next tutorial. Bye for now. So if you have liked my video, do subscribe to my channel. There is a subscribe button in front of you. Click it right away, and after that click on the bell icon so that you can get the regular notifications of my videos. Bye for now.